Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Gamers Galaxy. I'm Mark Bridge, and I'm here with Zach Wojnar.
Hey, it's me.
Alright, so this is the second episode in a row. We're on a roll here. Um, Ready to talk some games.
Oh yeah.
So, we're just gonna jump straight into it. First topic, we did speak a lot about Konami and Kojima woes. Well, we're gonna speak a little bit of good news in terms of the release of Metal Gear Solid 5 for the PC gamers out there who had to wait until September 15th, while every other uh, person on the console will be able to enjoy their game on September 1st. Well, not the case. They pushed the PC version up to September 1st along with the console release, which I am personally happy with because I'm gonna be getting on a PC. What do you think of that news?
That's great. I mean, I'm all for parity. That's Parity.
Right, right.
Uh, and more people get to play the game sooner, the better. I'm not one of those. Oh, they. You know, I play on PlayStation 4, but I don't think that other people should not be allowed to play.
Right, right.
Yes, I'm happy that I have my games that are exclusive to my box.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, spread the love. Everyone should get to play all the cool games.
Yeah, so I'm really excited that it's a Steam exclusive, which is almost kind of weird, but it's a Steam exclusive. You can only find it on Steam. But I'm excited that it's coming out on PC the same day, so I don't have to wrestle with the idea of like, damn, maybe I should buy it because I can't wait 2 weeks. So
Yeah,
I'll
I mean,
buy it
off
on
the
the
top of my head, this is
PS.
like the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, so it's really
A
exciting.
Metal Gear being,
Release the same time.
yeah,
Yeah. So I guess they must be. Oh, cross my fingers that the PC version is ready because I know Kojima and folks weren't responsible for the PC port. I'm sure
yeah,
they've
yeah.
out.
What if it's like Arkham Knight again?
Yeah, but I'm sure they outsourced it to some good people because I think the same people behind the PC version of Ground Zero is working on this. So
Oh, is that version beloved?
yeah, it's very, but it could be because it's not a big game
Yeah.
that it was virtually flawless on the PC.
But maybe the experience with working on that
Yeah,
uh, is why they were able to finish it
right.
2 weeks early.
Yeah. Well, I'm crossing my fingers. That is the case. So I'm really excited. Um, Jumping on to a Microsoft exclusive, Halo 5. The campaign will be doubled that of Halo 4. Now you've played Halo 4, right?
I have. I played it split screen co-op.
Yeah.
I was player two.
Which sadly won't be a part of Halo 5.
I know. That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, but the excuse was that to render everything in split screen will be a little bit too much for the system. So to troubleshoot all the bugs that will happen for the split screen takes time away from actually developing the game they want to develop.
Man, hire more people. Get another team to work on that.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I think that I call total BS on that, and it's not an Xbox One hate thing because
right,
PlayStation does that too. Killzone 3 on PS3 had split screen co-op, which was a first for the series,
right.
and then Killzone Shadowfall did not, and it broke my heart.
Yeah, it's just very,
I
very
mean,
sad.
like I know, the rendering and the performance. Like, I don't care if they cut the frame rate in half.
Right.
I don't care if they cut it more than half. Just being able to play it with your buddy on the couch,
Mm-hmm.
just like totally more than makes up for that.
Yeah. Now isn't because I don't know if I read it properly, but they're adding. I know they're adding co-op to Gears of War 4, but I'm not sure if it's split screen or is it just
Well,
online.
Gear. I've only played a bunch of Gears of War 1
Uh huh.
co-op,
Right.
but from what I understand, co-op is even more like essential to that game
Right.
than it is to Halo.
Mm.
Like, it's like a beloved feature in that, and I think that they've all had split screen co-op.
Right. Right. They have.
So if this one doesn't, then that will be a shame. Like I guess I get it in the early days, so like, it was kind of not forgivable, but at least, well, I fine with Killzone Shadowfall. I mean, that was a launch title,
Yeah.
um, but so was Halo One,
Yeah.
you know. And I know that the machines are different, blah blah blah, but dropping features as you go on, that's not the right direction. You're supposed to add features.
Yeah.
Like even if the graphics get better, like, well,
Well, I guess they're adding more to the campaign than Halo 4. I guess that's their adding. I don't
yeah, I
know.
guess. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's also just going to be such a pain because Xbox One has the Halo collection,
Mm-hmm.
Master Chief collection,
Yep.
which has all of those split screen
Yeah.
co-op
I
in their
do. I
games.
do have an Xbox One, and I do have the Master Chief collection. I
Yeah, have you played it in split screen?
I've been playing it online with my coworker, so not split screen, but I have the option to do so if I want to. I have two
Yeah.
controllers.
I mean, can you do that? It's a maximum of two, right?
uh, the first and second is two. I think three and four is four.
Even locally?
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
Um, like a great example, what I'm playing right now, like every week or other week or so, a friend comes over and he and me and my brother we play Borderlands 2,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually we're gonna do the prequel. Um, who knows how long that'll take. Um, we're playing a 3-player split screen. I get the top half
Uh
because I bought the friggin' game,
huh.
and they share the bottom half. Um, and the frame rate is like it's not it's like 30, but it's a really solid 30,
Right.
and it looks like identical to the PS3 version.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much more about the performance
Yeah.
than about like the actual graphics. And I know that when you're playing by yourself, you want like the super HD
Yeah.
mega detailed graphics.
Mm-hmm.
But and so they're basically calling their audience. They're saying, oh, okay, our audience is mostly people who play by themselves or who play online,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially online. With online multiplayer and all that. For Borderlands, I mean, because they're going to be making more Borderlands games in the future. I really, really hope that they hold on to the 4-player split screen option.
Yeah. Except
'Cause
for the PC.
if they don't, I probably won't get them.
Yeah. Except for PCs, we didn't have the split screen. Blah.
Really?
Nah, we couldn't do split screen.
Huh. Oh, I thought PCs can do anything.
There's a way
You
to do
PC
split screen.
elitists.
There's a ways to do split screen, but you have to buy like a third party program to do a pseudo split screen, whatever. Um.
And there was a feature on the PS3 with the 3D glasses
Uh-huh.
on 3D TVs where you could, if you were
Yeah.
both wearing the glasses, you'd both.
Share have the same screen basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never done that,
Uh-huh. Do
but
Do you have a 3D
that would
TV?
be so. No.
Oh.
Gosh. I wish. I mean, well, I'll wait till they're, affordable.
um. All right, but let's jump to Bungie, they were the former developers of Halo. Now they're busy with Destiny.
Oh, yeah, Destiny, which you and I are going to be playing.
Yes.
And
Now,
we're going to have to stream that shit.
yep, we're definitely now.
We can let's play it.
The Taken King is the expansion that's coming out September 15th, which could possibly be a reason why Metal Gear Solid 5 moved from its September 15th date for the PC version. But one thing we forgot to mention about the PC version of Metal Gear. Well, Solid in anyway. How is the multiplayer for the consoles will
Right.
come out in October, and then for PC is January.
Yeah, so there's still going to be a big wait.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be playing that campaign for
yeah.
probably well over a month.
So yeah, so it
Multiple
works out.
times.
It works out. But Taken King, the expansion, comes with it a lot of changes. One of which is the voice actor, Nolan North. He is taking over the role of Ghost, and they're re-recording Peter Dinklage's whole things with Nolan North.
That's huge because we like Peter Dinklage. He's a cute little guy.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, like, he's a cute guy. His size has nothing to do with it.
Right.
Um, but his performance in Destiny is not beloved, right?
Not. And they had to basically do some like auto tuning to his voice to make it at least sound good.
Was it that like he was uninterested, or just the director didn't care?
Probably. You know what? I doubt it's the uninterested part because he doesn't have to do that. Right? It's not like his agent said, "Come on, you gotta do Destiny. You're not doing anything right now. You're not in the most popular goddamn television show that HBO has ever had."
Right.
So
If he
right?
didn't want to do it, he could have just
Yeah.
not done it.
So I think it's just the director just didn't give him the kind of direction he needed, or he could have just been an asshole. Like, no, let me do it this way because I'm Peter Dinklage. Who knows? But Nolan North, who is a very great voice actor for video games.
Voice is beloved. I mean, he sold Deadpool to a lot of us.
Yeah. So he at first he was just doing Ghost for the Taken King expansion, but they loved him so much that they wanted it to be consistent, so they had him record over Peter Dinklage's lines. So he will be Ghost from now on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of change. I mean, Destiny is practically. I mean, I haven't played it, but the myriad changes that they've been describing, it sounds less like Destiny and more like Destiny, A New Hope Special Edition with, Han shooting first, or rather Greedo shooting first. It's like a really. I think people are gonna see the game and be like, "Wow, this is a totally different game than I played last year."
Which it brings another change that I'm actually liking. I remember when the first expansion came out, the raid you couldn't do until you're a certain level, but the only way to level up until past 20 was that you had to get light armor.
That just sounded like it took forever, and just even reading about it,
Yes,
I was just like, "Oh, I'm kind of glad I don't have this game because that's just too much of a pain."
Disgusting, and you had to basically wait for a good loot drop, and that did not often come. I think when the second expansion came out, it made it easier for the loot drops, but what Taken King will do is get rid of that altogether and let you level up to 34 with traditional experience points.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions to ask you
Sure.
regarding this and the changes.
Right.
Okay, first, do you get experience when playing player versus player? Or
Yes.
the Crucible, as they call it.
Yes.
Okay. Playing through the main game, and you played through the first two expansions, yes?
No, because I kind of gave up on it once I realized I couldn't get to play the I have them,
Right.
I just didn't play them.
You couldn't play those raids and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you get to how long and how far into the game were you?
I
you hit
beat
level
the main
20?
story. I beat the main story
Before hitting level 20?
Yes. And
Okay.
I did a couple of. Well, you know what I did? I did skip some strikes, I think, and did complete them afterwards, because some of the strikes had a higher level than I had at the time. So I just basically did all the missions that I could with my level. Then I did which will happen to be the final boss, and I played with my friend too, so he could carry me. I beat the final boss, and then I did the rest of the strike, and then I got up to level 20. But yeah.
Okay. And so I think the idea is that now that even though you could beat the game without hitting the cap, and that's, I assume, like not playing a lot of Crucible,
Right.
or even a whole ton of like optional side quests.
Yeah.
I think the idea was that they didn't want people to feel like they were finished with the game.
Right.
So, we can always get higher, but the only way to do that is by playing this endless rotation of the same stuff over and over again.
That was just monotony.
So I guess the idea now is like, first we have the level cap raised to 40?
34.
By Taken King?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't it?
I thought it was 40.
Let me see. Go ahead, speak.
So if it's 4, or even if it's 34, the level cap is that high, combined with how much content
Oh.
there is. I mean, people who buy the Taken King
Mm-hmm.
on disc will get Destiny and the first two expansions.
Right.
So there's enough content to justify um, a high level cap
Oh, level
and
40.
not
Yeah, it
have.
is level
Okay, it
40.
is 40.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So there's enough content here to justify, um, that high level cap and all the content.
Yeah. So,
So probably getting from level 20 to level 40 will take a lot longer than getting from level 1 to level 20.
mm-hmm.
Um, but there will be so much game between the
and
Destiny
and
and the two
that's
expansions and the Taken King.
yeah, that's what I'm excited about. And I think they talked about some of the raids that's going to be in Taken King because it made up for no raids in the House of Wolves. There was a
Oh, really?
yeah, it had no raids. There was a raid in Dark Below, but no raids in House of Wolf. And now I think Taken King will have maybe 2 raids, I think, or more. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's actually going to have a lot more content. And I said this right when the game first came out, and I played it, and I said, listen, when all the expansions and stuff come out, the person who decides to pick up the game then will have more fun with that game than the people who
That's
actually
me.
picked up the game, because they'll have so much stuff to do in that game, so much. And I'm sure but the story has never been Bungie's strong suit, narrative in games. But what little is there, I'm sure will play a little bit better. The fact that you don't have to keep repeating strikes or repeating raids to actually fully level up your character. So
Yeah,
it may
and as
flow
far as the
better.
leveling goes, does it affect your health and like a myriad of stats?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, they got rid of the light leveling to pass level 20, but it still will behoove you to get those gear because it does increase your stats.
Uh-huh.
So they're not doing away with the gear system
So it's a
totally.
lot more traditionally RPG
Pretty
like.
much, yes.
Well, and that's I think the way most
Yeah,
would wish that it had been from the beginning.
yeah. So
But it was Bungie's way of saying
let's be
we need
different.
you to keep on playing the game
Yeah.
until we have enough content to support all these level ups.
Now, this is a lesson they need to learn when they actually come out with Destiny 2. They
Presumably next year, right?
Yeah, they need to come out when Destiny 2 drops. It should have enough content in it so to last you a while before the expansions come out. That's one. Two, do a better job with narrative. I know it's not Bungie's strong suit, but hire I don't know, hire a writer or hire someone who's good at incorporating narrative into gameplay. You know, do that, because one of the things that didn't motivate a lot of people when playing Destiny was that they didn't know what they were doing. Like in terms of okay, what was the motivation of what I'm doing? Like yeah, the gameplay is excellent. It's a top notch gameplay. They get A's for that. Like that's what Bungie did with this game was they made the gameplay so perfect, terrific that they get A's across the board for that. But just
Its shooting is beloved, but
yeah,
everything else has room for improvement.
yeah. So improve on that. I think they're saying they're doing that with Taken King. So hopefully we see the trajectory that they're making in terms of making great narrative in games.
Yeah, I'm definitely predicting that this time next year we'll be talking about Destiny 2,
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo, and that what we're going to be seeing in the Taken King is kind of like a prototype version of what we'll be expecting
Right.
in Destiny 2. And the question for you,
Mm-hmm.
will there be, assuming that Destiny 2 is next year, uh, will we have more expansions between now and then?
Um,
Will we
that
have
I'm
like a June, mid-year expansion?
yeah, that I'm not sure about. Um, I know Taken King isn't a part of the season pass, so you had to
Right.
spend $40 for it. I don't know if that's like them saying this is sort of the grand finale of Destiny 1. You know,
Yeah.
so maybe not, or maybe they'll come out with at least one more expansion pack before Destiny 2. Like maybe the expansion pack that they come out before Destiny 2 will lead into Destiny 2. They could do a whole prequel, like the arrival was to from Mass Effect
Yeah.
2 to Mass Effect 3. They could pull something like that off.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And it would definitely reassure fans that they actually care about the narrative.
Yeah. So.
Building towards a Destiny 2. Like, you know, maybe in the long run we'll look back on it and even be able to play through it
Mm-hmm.
because they said that like your character will be your character forever.
Yeah.
Or at least for 10 years or whatever.
You'll be able to transfer the character over to the other games.
So I think the idea is that like Destiny begins with just like throwing you into this world, and then by the time of the Taken King leading into Destiny 2, that's when they really start to focus on what's important, who the characters are, if there are characters. Again, haven't played it, no idea,
Mm-hmm.
and really getting you acquainted to like the real machinations of what's going on.
Yeah.
And then from there, we might see a lot more narrative-driven content. I think like the goal of Bungie, when all is said and done, it's the year 2025. We're eating our meals in pill form.
Riding on our hoverboards in the hover park by Lexus.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to put on our VR headsets and plug them into our PS4s, whatever, and play Destiny all the way through.
Yeah.
And for it to feel like, from Destiny 1 all of its expansions, which you will be able to play as, like linearly.
Yeah.
All the way through to the sequel and its expansions, etc., and all the hundreds of dollars we spent on that crap. To be able to play through them like Mass Effect. Even though you might not, there won't be like the choice and stuff.
Yeah.
But for it to hold together throughout.
Yeah.
And not be like, oh, this is that weird game that we can kind of skip over. That's fine.
Yeah.
But for it to all like really make sense from start to finish.
Yeah.
As a complete experience. So like, Destiny kind of like Fantastic Four, it's an act 1 that doesn't really go anywhere, except that's much more acceptable in a video game
than a movie.
Yeah. Because in a video game, you can shoot people in the face forever.
Yeah. Or play some Crucible and.
Exactly.
Yeah, so. All right, so can't wait for Taken King. You and I will be definitely playing that.
I can't wait.
So
I'm actually excited. I probably wouldn't have gotten it, but the way they've been talking about the changes to the main game, like the base game,
yeah,
and how it kind of rewards people like me who haven't played it.
Yeah,
I think because they've already got their hooks in the people who've already played the expansions, the prior expansions of the original game.
Yeah,
and so they're trying to get people who skipped because like they didn't care. They saw through the hype, this and that.
Now, are you getting it with your brother, or are you just getting one copy?
I'm just getting one. We've only got one PS4.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
If and when they announce a PS4 Slim, we might double dip. But we'll be playing. Hey, if they put it on PS Now, then I'll play it.
Yeah.
That would be great. I would love for that to happen. PS Now is like my favorite thing. I'm having a lot of significant problems playing it on the Vita lately. I don't know if it's not my connection because I even played it in the city.
Right. Maybe just the sense of what Vita is. It probably can't handle the bandwidth.
Well, no, no. When I lived in Yonkers, I had no problem. Okay. I mean, like a little bit of problem, but like they had the open beta, the test period.
Yeah.
And it was great. We played Saints Row 4.
Okay.
And sometimes I was on the PS4 and it was on the PS3, but mostly it was. Well, I actually was probably mostly PS4 and PS3, but I did play a significant chunk of the game on Vita. And I played some XCOM Enemy Within on Vita, and except just this past month or so, I've had problems logging in on Vita, so I'm gonna have to check it out. Like I'll go visit, my friends' houses and see if I have trouble there, because I can play online and I can visit the PlayStation Store and all that. That works just fine. So I don't really know what the deal is.
Hopefully a patch will fix it. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, hopefully I don't know.
um.
I mean, but PS Now is great, like, because I love being able to play Uncharted on Vita,
Hmm.
and like, if I've got the connection, it's great if I'm like at a friend's house and things are winding down,
Yeah.
and like I'm gonna go to sleep, and I pay $1.99 and I get to play Uncharted for 4 hours.
Right.
That's the dream, and that's great. Um, but it's got to work.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Hopefully
key.
they'll clean
That
it
is
up.
key.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. So the final game we want to talk about is Mafia 3.
Mafia 3!
So.
I've never played Mafia 2, but I
Uh,
got it when it was on sale for $5, and I'll be playing it eventually. But oh my god, Mafia 3 looks so cool.
it does, man. It does. It does. Like I was watching a little bit of it, and I was like, yes, I'm getting that day one. I'm sorry.
This is like the kind of game that I wait for. And sometimes I live up to the promise, like
Hmm.
really like realistic, believable. No, it doesn't have to be open world, but like narrative that's based on real life and has themes that can and it doesn't even have to be in a real world game. It
Right.
can be in a sci-fi game, and I think that's part of why a lot of people like Mass Effect.
Hmm.
I don't really find it to be as applicable as that stuff.
Hmm.
As applicable as other people find it to be.
Right.
But like, I actually, just as a slight tangent, I said it before, but I don't even care. Alpha Protocol better than Mass Effect.
I've never played it before, so I can't argue with you on that one.
Well, at least Mass Effect One. uh, but anyway, um, this kind of real world game with real themes. There's more to it than just the open world GTA stuff. Like even GTA 5 is like a master. I think it's the closest to a masterpiece that Grand Theft Auto has ever had.
Right.
Um, and that includes Vice City, baby. Um, but this, even just the announcement trailer, which was pre-rendered, and I don't really care about pre-rendered trailers.
Right.
I was just like, I'm in.
You saw the gameplay though, right?
I saw
Yeah.
some gameplay.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of it.
Like the way, because it's set in New Orleans, back in the '60s.
1968.
Uh, Racial tension is at an all-time high.
That was like the most. That was probably the most intense year of the modern era.
Yeah. So, and you play a half black, half white character, which most
Or,
people will see as black.
right, except for the black gangs.
Yeah.
They'll see him as half.
and and the game will not, at least according to the developers, shy away from that.
Yeah, I mean,
So
no need to whitewash. Tell it like it is.
yeah, so and it's because the developer also mentioned something really interesting as well, where in the '40s, the gangsters were looked up as sort of like glamorous, celebrities, or around '40s, '50s that time, but around the '60s is when people start looking at them like they're not very good people because they're destroying neighborhoods, and the game
Yeah,
will sort of
especially with the rise of
the
heavy
hair.
drugs
Yeah.
at the time.
So game will have all of that, and man, if they manage to put all of that in the game, well, and not make it dour, still make you have fun with it, but still kind of have the social commentary to it.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think that's like the perfect. I think the idea of making it fun is gonna be what really gonna work,
right.
because it's kind of like the classic gang war thing. We got to drive out the other gang with our gang,
Mm-hmm.
except who knows how you know heroic the gang will turn out to be, and that'll probably be one of the twists. Oh, we're this like the people we've been uh you know beating up. We've become our enemies.
Right.
But the idea of like Mafia, this game about rising through the ranks in the Italian mob, turns the Italian mob into the straight up villain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, not sugarcoating, oh, but they're just looking out for their neighborhoods and stuff. And, oh, the cops weren't on their side and stuff. It's like, no. Now they're straight up freaking evil because we're looking at them from the outside.
Yeah.
We're not looking at them from the inside as one of them. We're looking at them how they really are, which are destroyers and corruptors and thieves and killers.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to kill them back.
Right.
And so I think that like that righteousness
Yeah.
will translate into fun.
Yeah.
If they have like the huge firefights where it's like you and your team, which includes Vito, who was the protagonist of Mafia 2.
That I was wondering if they were sort of doing their own story,
Yeah,
or if
the trailer has his like squad. It's like another. It's a guy, black woman with a beautiful afro. Afros
yes,
need to come back.
yeah. I saw her on Twitter.
They're a great look.
I was like, wow, she's pretty.
Yeah, and then there's an old guy,
Mm-hmm.
and that guy is Vito, who was the lead,
In
the
Mafia 2.
player character in Mafia 2.
Oh, nice.
So he's apparently on the outs with his organization, and he's ready to give it back to him.
All right.
So I'm super in. I mean, it's one of the and it's being written by Hayden Blackman.
What did he do?
Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, which love it or hate it had really good writing, especially Part 2.
Yeah.
Which again was so much more love it or hate it. Which I think was part of why I enjoyed it so much, is that instead of like dialing things back and trying to be all to not correct the mistakes of the first one, but to be more of what people wanted from the first one.
Right.
It went in the opposite direction. It went like full Empire Strikes Back. It was just like all momentum, no looking back, just straight up, themes and writing. And unfortunately, it ended on a
Cliffhanger.
mega cliffhanger,
Major
which
one.
Will probably never be resolved.
Yeah. Well, with Disney acquiring Lucasfilm, they pretty much said what's canon and what's not. So you probably won't see the resolution to that.
Yeah, that'd be great if he showed up in Star Wars Rebels.
Wow. Yeah. Right. Rebels or Rogue One.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, not Rogue One. It's going to be directed by the Godzilla guy, so it's going to suck. But we've discussed that before.
Yeah. All right, but some good games coming out. Mafia 3 is definitely one to look for. So definitely stay tuned for next week. We'll probably have more games, more cool news to give you guys. So,
yes, is now we're recording this on August 7th. Is Gamescom finished?
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't really watch it.
Either finish today or tomorrow's the last day. One of them.
So there probably won't be any more announcements.
Yeah, it was Xbox time to shine, Microsoft's time to shine.
Right, Sony didn't even have a presence, right?
No, they skipped this. Because why? One, they really had nothing to show.
they dropped the mic at E3, so
they have nothing to show. They're done this year in terms of games. Well,
yeah, it was a double-edged sword in that they dropped the mic and pretty much won E3, except now they have no bullets left. Yeah. So we're gonna go now. We'll see you guys next year. Yeah. Maybe they'll have a PSX in December.
Yeah, hopefully. And
I hope so.
And not troll us last PSX.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So that brings us to the end of the show. You can get this and every other episode on iTunes and Stitcher Internet Radio. You can follow me at Marky Tundra. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Marky Tundra. I messed that up. And you're at?
No, I'm at my name, Zach Wojnar.
And
ZAKWOJNAR.
And like us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/popculturegalaxy. And email us at gamersgalaxy@popculturegalaxy.com.
Yes, send us your emails. We'll read them online unless they say bad things about us.
Yeah, then we'll just try.
You don't even know my mom.
Yeah, and visit popculturegalaxy.com for all your entertainment goodies. So until next time, folks, I want to say peace.
Indeed.